know what time it is.
How it all works.
Come on.
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 Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, we are back. Let me see how many we got. We got 16 people watching right now. That is awesome. Come on, y'all. Let's get some comments shared in the chat. Let's also make sure we tag some friends, get some things going. We want to get more people in here. Listen, if you aren't familiar with my guest tonight, trust me, you're going to want to make sure you're here. Bring your pen and paper. I see James Hicks in the chat. I see Anthony, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. I see Anthony in the chat. I see Calico in the chat. Shabaka's in the chat. I see Domino Entertainment, Steve McRae, James Hicks. I see James out here. Sammy Superstar is in the chat. I love it. Who else we got, man? This is going to be great. Make sure you tag some folks. Make sure you're sharing. Make sure we get all the things going. I'm trying to move quickly today because I know we have a lot of ground to cover with this guest. So as I always do, and I'm not going to do any different today, this is the How It All Works webpage. It is right here. It is literally right here. HowItAllWorks.com. Works is spelled with an E, HOWITALLWERKS. And on that page, you will find all of our things. So latest video, Guests in the Studio. This was a lot of fun. If you haven't watched that one, definitely go ahead and check that out. Live shows on Amazon. Yeah. I'm going to get back to that one in just a second. And then, of course, our podcast, Kevin Colby was our latest guest on the podcast. Y'all, whew, this particular episode, literally goosebumps. Like this guy's got just these powerful stories about video, and definitely want to make sure you guys get a chance to tune in. So with that said, let's get into the news.
Your number one source for live video news.
Okay. Like I said I was going to get back into this in just a second. I may or may not be giving away one or all of the things that are on the screen right now. Yeah, one or all of the things that are on the screen right now might be given away on our Amazon show. We've got shows on Wednesday and Friday for sure, but there may be some other pop-up ones. So you definitely want to make sure you are following us. And again, just go to howitallworks.com. You can find our Amazon stuff on that page. Follow us there. A lot of great things coming down the pike. A lot of equipment that have been piled up over here behind this desk. So excited about that. Family's going to be joining me on some of those streams. So excited about that as well. Gary Jones is in the live. What's up, man? Thank you so much for being here. He's got the blue wrench. Make sure you pay attention to him. 22 people. We still got more people to share to. So that's what our first thing is. But the next thing is a recap from last week. This thing was so nice. I had to do it one more time. The device has shown up. It is here. It is here. The device has shown up. It is physically in the building. I may or may not be doing a Amazon live video on this one as well, just an unboxing and a random live test. This thing is a USB-C capture card built for iOS. Imagine plugging your DSLR camera into your phone and going live on Instagram. Like with this one device, you can do just that. I'm telling you, this thing is amazing. And I've tested it out. I just want to make sure you guys know this only works with iPhone. So it is not a multi-platform device. It only works with iOS. I should say iOS, because it does work with iPad. So definitely make sure you guys are staying tuned. Yes, a USB-C or /Lightning capture card for your phone. Like, it's just absolutely amazing that they've figured out how to do this. And I'm excited that we are going to be able to bring some of that to you. We're going to do a live test with it. We want to see what the quality looks like. So make sure you're following on all of the places and all of the things. This is a really cool device. So that said, we also want to talk a little bit about the folks over at Zoom. They had a announcement recently where they're talking about, man, we got some super chats coming in. Thank you so much for those. Announcement saying that they've got Zoom coming to Tesla. What would that be like? Driving and doing a meeting? I don't know if I want that. Now they're saying in this little article, they're saying that you can only do it when the car is in park, which is probably for the best. I don't know if I would want to be talking. Hey, what's going on, Mel? I see you out here. I don't know if I'd want you to be meeting with me in your car as you're driving, but imagine that integration. I share these news tips, tricks, best practices, updates, because it's just crazy. All of the things that are happening coming down the pike. So Zoom and Tesla, something to watch out for. What else could we be in for as we get down the line? I see Sammy Superstar is like, okay, Tesla with Zoom. Okay. Tesla with Zoom, I will test it. My friend has a Tesla. Perfect stream. I love it. All right, cool. And then the next thing in the news is the Stream Deck Plus. And I literally just watched our guest's video on this earlier today, which was really informative, by the way. And I'm probably gonna need to link to that in the description. But the Elgato Stream Deck Plus is a new thing. Only 8 buttons, though. That really concerns me. I use all of my 30 buttons here and still need another Stream Deck next to it to really get everything done. So I don't know about the 8 buttons, but this sounds like something to really look into. Looks like a different workflow with the knobs and being able to press them, being able to turn things up and down, adjust lighting, all those kinds of things. Really cool scenario. If you're not familiar with Elgato Stream Deck Plus, this is something to look out for, something to be aware of. It is actually for sale already, so you can start looking at ways to buy that. So the Stream Deck Plus is another good one. I see you in the chat, Anselm Paul. Melanie Diane is in the chat. I see Calico. Nobu is in the chat. Anthony's in the chat. Sammy Superstar. You guys having a great time. The next thing is quite literally something that I saw today. Ecamm Live beta version 4.0 B16. Listen. The camera switcher alone, I literally sat there with my mouth open like, what is going on? Full camera switching functionality in the beta version. Hopefully this is going to be made full release before the close of the year, because it's going to shift my entire workflow. Yes, Ecamm Live Beta version 4.0. This thing, man, I saw him create, with one camera, I saw him create 3 different looks. One of him, one of his twin / co-founder, and then one of the 3 of it. Just absolutely amazing what is possible with this software. Ecamm Live is just mind blown. The other piece of it that I saw today was, of course, ISO or isolated or whatever you want to call it, recording each individual camera as its own video file so that you can take that and repurpose it after the fact. I mean, this is them knocking on the door of Riverside and all the other platforms that have ISO. Get out of the way, ATEM. Listen, Ecamm is coming for your bag. This thing is a problem for those that have been waiting. Of all the features I've been asking for, this is it. So like, I'm standardizing on Ecamm Beta 4, B16, whatever the term is. I'm standardizing on that because that's going to be absolutely a lot of fun. If you guys have not seen or watched that announcement from the Ecamm guys earlier today, definitely go in and check that out. But with that said, that kind of completes our news for today, because we're going to learn about how to build a business from content. And my guest is none other than Livestream Pro herself, Luria Petrucci. I'm excited to, like, you guys, I don't have any clue how long I've been following her. And this is the type of thing that dreams are made of, right? Finally having her on the show. So I'm excited for this. So let's give a warm How It All Works welcome to Luria Petrucci.
Let's go behind the scenes with our special guests to figure out how it all works.
The one and only Luria. Yes, Callie says, let's go.
I'm so excited to be hanging out with you tonight, Kirk. I stayed up late for you. This is late.
I can see that. I said, man, I truly appreciate you just coming. Listen, we could have done this as a recording, but doing this live, way better. Way better.
Oh, way better. Totally.
Yes. I see the welcomes coming through in the chat. Folks are still talking about the news items as well. Blown away by ISO. Anthony says, yes, you and me both. I've been waiting for that feature for some time now.
I'm so excited.
Super excited. Mel says, don't let her fool you. Pacific time. I thought about that. I did think about that.
But it's so late.
Shabaka says,
I'm usually in bed by 5.
See?
Just joking.
So Shabaka says he's been watching you for years. I doubt you've been watching her as long as I have. Okay, I just want to make sure you guys understand.
Are we having a little competition right now?
Geek Beat TV. I don't know about you, Shabaka, but I have been watching for a before YouTube was a thing. And it was on, what was it on? It was on Roku? Was it Roku or something? I can't remember what.
It was on Roku, Revision 3. Yeah.
We did, like, I text my brother because we used to watch all those things together as kids. I shouldn't say kids, but we used to watch them a very long time ago. And he was like, "You're gonna have who?" I said, "Luria." And he's like, "I have no idea who that is, Kirk. I have no idea who that is." So I was like, "All right, what about Callie Lewis?" He's like, "Yeah, of course I know who that is." I said, "Yeah, that's kind of the same person." So anyway,
kind of.
You know?
All right, Shabaka, we need a number of years so you can tell Kirk that you've been watching longer.
Come on. Who's got it beat? Who's got it beat? Talk to me, Shabaka. I think you got you beat. I think I got you beat. Very excited to learn. Yusef says, all right, cool. Listen, so Luria, how are you? We're going to dive right in. I want to throw our first question up on the screen. Not that I need this, but some of my audience members may have been under a rock somewhere. And they, we want them to know a little bit about who you are and what you do and some of your story, right? So tell the viewers a bit about yourself, your story. And I always like to say, like, what does a typical week look like for you? That's a unique question that my audience always loves me to ask our guests. And I want you to kind of give us a day in the life, if you will. So Talk to us.
Okay. Yeah. I love that question. So I'm literally in a month, I'm coming up on 17 years of doing video creation. So, I've just dated myself. Yes, I'm old. And,
17. That is so awesome. That's so awesome.
It's incredibly humbling that I've been able to last this long. And that's because of the topic that we're going to talk about today, is really looking at this as a business and not just a thing that we do. And I've been through lots of ups and downs, lots of transitions. As you've heard, I've changed my name, right? Like there's been a lot that has gone into that 17 years, and I've learned so much about the business aspect of video creation. A typical week in my life. Wow. So I'm incredibly lucky to have an amazing team of 7 people who support this whole process. And I could not do this without them at the scale that we do it. We literally just closed our largest revenue quarter last quarter.
Nice.
That was convoluted, but you know what I mean.
no, it made sense to me. Right.
And so, and the team, Callie's in the part of our team. She's in the chat room right now. I literally could not do this without them. So they do a lot of stuff themselves throughout the week. My particular week looks like, I save Mondays and Wednesdays for project-based stuff. So I'm really clear on my vision of what I am, the goals that we're working towards. For every single quarter, every single month. And so my Mondays and Wednesdays are blank. I don't do anything other than big project stuff, business, back end stuff to make our business grow.
Yes, that is huge. Yeah,
it is. Thursdays are really kind of, Tuesdays are like meeting days. I'm a big proponent of like bulk time crunch, having like
batch it out,
separation.
Right.
And so Tuesdays are my meeting days. Any meeting that I do is only happening on Tuesdays. So Callie will attest to this. I literally take no breaks during Tuesdays. I'm just back to back. But it's good to just get it out of the way for me. And then Thursdays I spend kind of with either a big project or any like content client stuff that I need to catch up on. Fridays is my live show. And I kind of do catch up as well on Fridays. So just whatever needs to happen that week. So that's kind of what my week looks like. And I'm lucky enough to like the last Monday I played hooky to go for a hike in the middle of the afternoon, come back, get a little bit of work done after that, So there are those moments, but that having the flexibility to do so is really wonderful.
Yeah, that is so awesome.
Tuesdays are hell day, yes.
Yeah, that is so awesome. I think many times we feel like, man, I just got to stretch. I've got to, expand. I've got to, squeeze every hour out of every day. I've got to do all the things on all of the days, and that's just not sustainable. You will burn yourself out. I think there's so much wisdom in structuring and knowing that these days are for this. And so you kind of get up in the morning, you already know, okay, on this day, this is my meeting day. Me get myself into the zone, whatever you have to do to get yourself into that space. There's so much business wisdom in what you just shared. And I think that's kind of one of the reasons why this question resonates so much with my audience, because they kind of gives them a bit of a process roadmap for how people are functioning in this space as they go through their week. I mean, there's just so many different things that you... What?
I was just grabbing this. Like the Full Focus Planner is my lifesaver.
Nice.
Full Focus Planner from Michael Hyatt. I freaking, yes, it's like life.
Good. Absolutely. I think we're gonna get a good amount of questions here pretty soon.
Okay.
We're gonna get a good amount of questions. I see that it's a high question night tonight is what I'm seeing. But yes. One of the things that the second question, of course, that we want to drop on the screen here. I have a focused planner for you. That's what James Hicks is saying in the chat. How did you get started? I know you said, the privilege is yours of having been in the business for 17 years. Let's be clear. Some people have crashed and burned in 17 months or even less than that. So how did you get started? I mean, we're going to get into, that staying power. That's going to be the secret sauce of our show today. But how did you get started? What was some people trip into content creation and live videos. Some people just kind of lucked into it. Others went in intentionally and they had a purpose. They knew exactly what they wanted to get out of it. What's sort of your background and origin story there?
Kind of a combo for me a little bit. I was one of the first out with video podcasts. So like back in 2005, I was really just kind of playing around with this newfangled technology that we have that allows us to, technically speaking, RSS, how podcasts are delivered and the automation behind that. Back in that day, back in the day, I had to hand code my feeds to be able to deliver content. And so it's really cool to see how easy it is now. But yeah, like I was kind of just figuring this out. I was just a geek, kind of geeking out about this stuff. And I didn't really have any intention of being on camera, but I also wasn't willing to keep doing what I was doing for the rest of my life. And I didn't go to college, and I really didn't have any skill sets, that I knew of at that time. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to like lean into this and figure out if this can be something. Apple had just announced their first video iPod. This was before the iPhone existed. And it was pretty obvious that people were going to be getting these things for Christmas and would need content on those devices. So I put out my first video December 23rd, 2005, and immediately had 2,000 viewers at that time. That was massively huge.
Massive. Yes.
Yeah. And it was like, whoa. It wasn't really that they liked me. It wasn't that I was good. It wasn't that the videos were good, but there wasn't a lot out there. Like I was one of like a handful of people putting out content for that device. So they were stuck with me. And so, then one thing rolled into another. I gained an audience big enough to be able to quit my day job 5 months later. And then I just kept getting amazing opportunities, like to work with Leo Laporte on Twit, and then also like host his TV show in Canada. Co-host, not host, but and then just all of these different opportunities, Panasonic, Samsung, just kept coming my way. And I kept building that. And then I decided I needed a change, and I pivoted in a wrong way. You're not supposed to pivot like I pivoted. I dropped my name, the Callie Lewis alias that I was using, and everybody lost track of me. And so I lost 2 million followers like overnight. That was a horrible snap. And so then I had to rebuild it. I had to start literally from scratch. I had 0 viewers watching me. I had, like maybe a few stragglers that had come with me, but really I had literally a team, because my team wouldn't leave me when I pivoted, and which is so humbling. And also a lot of pressure. But we pivoted together, and I had no income, no viewers, no business again, and I had to build that back up from scratch, and learned a lot of lessons in that process.
Man, there's something to be said for starting over. Yeah, something to be said for starting over. I mean, in fact, talking to HR professionals, one of the things that they say is you want to know that people have started and failed at something, because you learn so much from that process of having gone through that experience. And there's just, even from the perspective of how you were able to pivot and some of your origin story, there's nuggets of wisdom that the audience, I hope you're paying attention, because some of you are like, well, what are some of the things that I could do? Yeah, there may be that thing that's coming out this Christmas, and that everybody's going to want content on it. She just kind of outlined some of those things. That's a very viable option for somebody who's like, well, how do I get started? That's one of them. But then also, just kind of learning from mistakes. And one of the things I always say is you want to have a guide and a coach. And I know that's something that you guys guys offer there at Livestream Pros as well, just really helping people to have a safe space to throw things against the wall, to make those mistakes, but also to learn and to be nurtured and to grow towards their goals and their goals and aspirations. So I just love some of the things that you guys are doing in that space as well.
Thank you.
I do want to double, I know that there's so yes, your origin story, you just shared that. It's awesome. My passion is live, and I know you guys have done some crazy, ridiculous, awesome things in terms of live. And I just want to, just give us maybe one of those, like, how did the pivot go from video podcast and content to live? Because I love live. I just think that live is magical. I just love the way live happens. So talk to us a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, that's a great question. So back in 2007, a couple of years after I started doing video, I started doing live. So I was using live on Justin TV, Ustream, and I had gotten the only phone that did live video, the Nokia N95, with an app called Quick, QIK, and I literally bought that phone just for that purpose, to be able to do live. So back in 2007, I was doing regular live streams weekly for my audience, sometimes daily. And when, because I was building up that skill, it is a skill that you have to learn.
Yes, it is a skill.
Yeah. Well, and I decided to do that at that point, because in 2006, I was asked to go on Call for Help with Leo Laporte, and I walked into that proper TV station, and they told me, we do live to drive, like live to tape at that point, but like, you don't stop unless something technically screws up. You are live.
Yeah.
Freaked the F out, just like, because I had always been scripted. I had always been prepared. Like, I was over prepared. And I made it through. I did it. And every step of the way, I had such anxiety about it. Like, everybody thought I performed incredibly well, but yet my internal anxiety was just over the top. And when I got back from that, I said, I have to learn this. I can't go through life like this. I can't it's just not okay. And I'm the type of person that just wants to, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it like 1,000%,
That's me all day, every day. I can't do half. I don't know how.
I don't, it doesn't compute. And so I leaned into it, and that's why I started doing live regularly and consistently. And that's why Panasonic came to me and said, hey, host our CES show, the biggest, hundreds of thousands of people watching that stream.
CES.
And CES, their official stream. And I was like, okay, I say yes to any opportunity that's that big, right?
Yeah.
And then I figure out the
figure it
how.
out. Come on, that's so good.
Yes.
Figure it out. Say yes and figure it out. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's a really, really important lesson in all of this, is that you say yes to the opportunities that are going to move you along, and then you figure out the how, because none of us are prepared ever for new opportunities that we've never done. How could we be? So I learned a lot during that Panasonic stream. I mean, literally, the doors open, the stream turns on, all of this technical systems go crazy. I have an IFB in my ear. The director is talking to me, and that IFB goes for like 4 hours straight. That happens the moment the stream comes on. I'm having to read the teleprompter, interview like 2 major CEOs sitting beside me, look at the iPad and comments and read that and interact and make it fun and engaging. I knew at that point, they wouldn't let me take it out because they were trying to fix it. But I was like, I can do anything. Like, live is crazy. And at that was the moment that I knew I could handle literally anything in live streaming.
That is good. Man,
Not that
I
I
am.
want you to have to go through that.
No, you know, we don't wish it on anybody, but that is, you know, to hear those kinds of details, I really think it gives people some perspectives. I mean, everybody kind of knows CES and some of those things but I did want people to just kind of get that backdrop. Like, this is who we're talking to tonight. And sometimes, sometimes you got to bring some receipts along to let people know, let me just set the table for what we're about to get into. And I think that what we're about to get into is going to be really good. But yeah, I see some questions popping up in the chat as well. How can this be used for someone who is aspiring to be an actor? We're gonna get to those. I'm gonna star some of those questions. We're gonna try and come back to those in a little bit. But I'm super excited about that. And of course, we're in the season right now of Thanksgiving, and I know that we're just all thankful for just being able to do what we love for a living. I mean, I got a chance to just go to my kid's basketball game in the middle of the day. Like, who gets to do that except for content creators and people who are in this space? Okay, wow. Let's do that. But it's one of the things that I absolutely love about live is it is unedited, it is unscripted. And while you may have a bit of a plan, you kind of have to just roll with the punches a bit, and kind of feel things out. Yeah, go ahead.
Before you move on to your question, live literally makes you better at life, it makes you a better human. It makes you a better entrepreneur. It makes you better at all of the things because you learn so much through this process. I just had to add that.
Right. No. You. That's so well said. So well said. Thank you for that. As they say, you know, the old term that goes, if you don't have some spammers in the chat, you're really not doing anything, right? I mean, it's just. Are you even alive if you don't have somebody spamming you? So I'm just trying to move the mouse to where I can get this person blocked and we can get back to what we're doing. But there's something to be said for the experiences that we are able to create also while live as well. So I'm truly excited about what we're getting ready to get into. So this is what I want to do. I want to ask the audience, what are some of the things that you have been able to do this year with video? This is just a general question. We're just throwing that out there to you guys. That we're not going to answer that question. We wanted to just put that out there. We want to see what you guys come up with in the chat, and we'll come back to it because we do have a question for Luria, and this is one of our second to last questions. You can tell we're moving nicely today in terms of our comments and in terms of our time. So this is it. All right. So let me see if I can read this one properly. I have one version of the question on the screen, but I wanted to read a different version from my other screen here. Content creators approach the space for many different reasons and end goals, right? And so out of this realities come this term of the creator economy. The creator economy. I don't know how many of you are familiar with that term. I've been hearing it over and over, especially the past year and change. Help us to determine or define, I should say, what does the creator economy even mean? What does that mean?
Simply put, like at the base level, the creator economy is literally the ability to make money from posting and make a living from posting videos on YouTube, Instagram, any platform, any social platform out there. And so that is it at its core. So when your kids say to you, they want to be a YouTuber growing up, they're actually talking about a real possible career path. Like it's not just a silly thing to laugh at, because that is what is possible now. And so really at the deeper level, the creator economy is all of the things that it takes to make money, to grow your audience, to have a long-term sustainable business from your videos. And that's, I think, where a lot of people go wrong, is that they don't treat this as a business.
Yeah.
And you are an entrepreneur when you step into this role of video creator, whether it's live streaming, whether it's recorded, whether it's shorts. You have to come in with that attitude. I am an entrepreneur building something that can sustain me, my family, whatever those life goals are for me financially. And like any other entrepreneur, in a traditional entrepreneurship, they have to do the same thing we are having to do, wear all the hats at the first bit of it, right? You have to learn all of the things. You have to learn not only how to make a good video, you have to learn
Yeah.
how to run a
Yeah.
business, how to manage your money. When you
Yeah.
do make money, what is that spending towards so that you can scale and grow? Like you have to learn promotion and how to market yourself. And you are literally having to wear all of those hats,
That's
just like any other entrepreneur.
right. Right. There's
But the good news is, sorry, go ahead.
no. Go ahead. The good news.
Well,
Give us the good
the
news.
good news is that ultimately you are going to be able to, if you do it right in the beginning stages, then you're going to be able to hire, like I have, right, and build a team. If that's what you want, you can choose to stay small and not do that, because not everybody wants to build a team. But there
That's true.
are options
Right.
to scale and have others support that process. So there are a lot of different options out there based on your personality and your desires.
Yeah, a lot of different options based on your desires, but based on what you want to achieve. I mean, at the end of the day, you do have to figure out what that path looks like for you. Yeah, there's a couple of other mods in the chat that are assisting. We have all blocked this person several times, so it clearly must be another a kind of a different kind of account is what I'm trying to say right now. So I see what you're saying, Sammy Superstar. Thank you so much for your comments, and thank you so much for your support and your assistance. But yeah, I literally have blocked like 10 or 15 of these accounts, and it says it's blocked, but the person still just keeps coming back with slightly different.
It happens. Trolls slightly just different. Want attention at the end of the day. So just ignore.
Yeah, let's keep moving. One of the things I love about the answer in terms of the creator economy is the opportunity that it presents. One of the things I've read recently is that one of the top declared fields of interest for current middle schoolers is YouTubers, right? Or content creators, depending on how you want to term it. And I think that's awesome that that not only is that something that they're declaring, but it's not being discouraged. You know, because in our day, you say, I want to be a YouTuber, and folks are like, and how are you going to make money, right? But the creator economy and its definition and its emergence has allowed people to really kind of recognize that there is a whole other opportunity around creating content, that if you set it up properly, there is a way to make a living from it. In fact, you could really live comfortably and do some of the things that you really want to do with your time, because you have time as an entrepreneur, as a content entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a business person. So there's so many different things that you can get into with that as well. So that is pretty cool. Absolutely. And I love the way that you answered that question, Luria. Thank you so much. All right. Yeah. So I'm pulling that one down. Let's get that one down, that question down. We have our final question, and then we're going to grab your comments. Regardless of the reasoning, how can we plug into the creator economy and build a business from content? What are your thoughts around building a business from content?
Well, like I said, you have to start with the knowledge that you are not just creating some videos. If you want this to be a thing, and be sustainable for you, then you really do have to nail down some of the really important foundational principles, like what is your content about? Like a lot of people go years creating without actually understanding what that is. And if you don't nail that down, it will feel like a roller coaster and like a hamster wheel. So those foundational principles are really, really important. Once you have that and you're creating content consistently, then you really start to think about, how is my content driving into a business, right? So that can look a number of ways. I think the biggest mistake that a lot of people make as a video creator is building their business on the platform. Like we have to use the platforms for audience growth and reach, but it is a scary, scary thing to rely on the platform for your revenue, meaning like AdSense, donations, and super chats that you got earlier, right? Like all of those things are great. And as your videos perform better, AdSense goes up, you make more money. Fantastic. Also, what happens if YouTube shuts down, shuts your channel down? Like, ouch. I literally have a student in my mastermind program who has over 1 million subscribers. He has an amazingly engaged audience, and he makes a lot of money on the platform. And yet he is scared to hire somebody in order. Like what happens? He can't find that sustainable. So we're working with him to launch his product off the platform, right? Like you don't have to have your own product. You can use other people's products to do this, but I highly recommend 99% of everybody out there like really can create their own products out of their knowledge, their skill, to be able to have a bigger impact in the world that they live in and their viewers. And it doesn't take a large audience in order to start making money, which is actually kind of funny because like Black Friday sale, hint.
Hint. Black Friday this week coming up.
Like that's literally what I'm talking about this week. But I think people wait too long to start building a business off the platform because they think that they have to have this huge audience when in fact you don't.
Yeah, man, I really hope. Yes, I know that the distractions of the comments can pull your attention away. Just hide the comments if that's the case, right? We'll just turn the comments off. Yeah. But the point right now, I really hope that you guys hone in on this and maybe even come back and catch the replay because what she just said was gold. Don't wait so long to start building off platform, right? I love the term discoverability. Because, YouTube, for me, Amazon, for others, TikTok, maybe even Instagram, those are where you can be discovered. But and you might even make some coin. I'm not knocking it if the check comes in, it's nice. So and while the checks are still coming in, get those checks. But you definitely want to bring people into a space that you can kind of control that interaction. You can control the messaging, you can control the frequency of it and the quality of it. And you don't have to go through to an intermediary. You don't have to go through another platform because any of these platforms could fall down tomorrow. Now, the likelihood of some of them falling down is pretty slim, but it doesn't mean that the platform has to die for you to lose money. Let's all just take a quick look at what's happening with Twitter right now. Case in point, right? This is a huge case study in terms of it can just take one move, one person coming in, some policy changes, and then all of a sudden you don't really know how to navigate things anymore. And so you really want to have that space where you can now say to your audience, you've been receiving value from me all this time. I'm still the same person. I'm still able to give you that value, but we can do that in a better way over here. And yes, having your own, I'm a big fan of having your own a product or your own thing. But you are absolutely correct. You don't have to own it in order to sell it. And that is absolutely correct. And it is another reason why I'm a huge proponent of having coaches, having folks who have been in the business like Luria and others. I see Monty Weaver in the chat, somebody who's big on making a living off of content. But there's a reason why you want to get into the spaces where these people are, where you can begin to hear some of their thinking more than just the solution. A lot of times we want people to just, okay, tell me what I need to do, A, B, C, and you try to mimic that. Really what you want to do is really capture like what Luria's thought process is around making a business from content. Because once you capture that thought process, now you can kind of translate it into your own strengths and weaknesses to know who you need to pull onto a team, what are the things you want to put forward, where you want to put time, effort, and energy. And that really can play to your strengths, and people can see what your sweet sauce is. And of course, when they see that, they want to pay for it. So those are all things I wanted to just add in there. I know you have plenty more to share there, Luria. Go ahead.
Oh no, I just tap into what you just said. And when I've been doing this for, like I said, 17 years. I know all the tricks. I know all the right, and that's what I think in my own head. And yet, over the last couple of years, I've really gotten involved in some high level creator communities, and it's amazing what happens when that community conversation, occurs.
Yes.
And I've become a better content creator out of those conversations and out of the pushing beyond my comfort zone. I literally will be posting a video tomorrow morning of me sitting on the toilet, for a video. That sounds kind of crazy without context, but it makes sense in the video. But I'm now doing uncomfortable things. I'm pushing myself beyond the limits. And I think that that's a really important part of this, is that you don't just stay doing the thing that you've always done that works. I will tell you 1000%, you always have to kind of re-innovate and push yourself and learn new tricks. I'm an old dog. I've learned new tricks. It's a process, and you must be able to have that conversation with other creators. I think it's such a lonely process without it.
Yeah. Wow. Getting into community is huge as well. And I love the way you say that. And I think there's something admirable, I would say, from somebody who has been in the game as long as you have, saying, I can still learn, I can still push myself, I can still do something new. And what that says to me, somebody who has not been in as long, although I did start kind of around Boinks TV and then went to Mogulus and then went to live streams. So I've been around a little bit, not quite as long. Yeah. But it still says to me, you can still do more. You can still learn. Yeah. There's still yet another level that you can push to. There is no competition except for myself. I just want to be better than yesterday's version of Kirk. So I don't need to be Luria. You don't need to be Kirk. By all means, aim higher, but you definitely need to just be a little bit better than your yesterday's version of yourself. I think that is, if we can just strive to do that. And then, of course, I don't think it could be said better than what you said there. Getting into those spaces where those conversations are happening. And of course, for somebody like Luria, the space that she needs to get into is going to be a little bit different than somebody who's just starting out, right? So she's going to be in a space where people are making a living off of this, have teams around them, and are still trying things and saying, well, this is what I'm doing over here. I'm not really certain what the outcome is going to be. But it's just in hearing that, they're trying something new. I've got an idea that I've been sitting on. Maybe I want to try that out as well. So I'm personally going to be looking out for this video tomorrow. I don't know what to expect, but I'm personally going to be looking out for this video as well. Yeah.
Well, I hope you like it. Let me know. I'm going to be expecting a DM from you being like, what the heck, Luria?
What are we doing right now? What are we doing right now? Listen, I wanted to reserve some time toward the end here to kind of grab some of the questions, and so I'm going to put that out there to everybody. I see James Hicks' comment just kind of pops up in front of me right now. There's value, I believe, in finding your tribe that is of a similar mindset too. I'm having a challenge finding folks to collaborate with that are down for the hustle and grind as well. That's a real space to be in, James. I'm thankful for your comment. I don't know that I have a solution for you, but that is a very real space to be in.
I have a solution for James, but he doesn't want it.
Come on, James. Tell James the solution, please.
I love you, James.
Love you too, James, man. Listen, we got to have people like James around. I did want to throw this up there. I think this question was more geared towards you. This is from Adria from a little while back. She says, how can this, and by this I'm assuming content creation, live streaming, how can it be used for someone who is an aspiring actor? Right. I'm throwing this to you. I have no reference here.
Love this question. What was her name? I missed the name. Adria. This is a fantastic question. I hope you're still here. I was literally doing, this is slightly different, but it still applies. I was doing a photo shoot in New York or a video shoot in New York, and had a makeup artist for it. And this makeup artist was telling me this saga of how she is literally like at the top of her game in terms of skill and what she has accomplished, client list. And yet she went to get a job, and they turned her down because she had no social following. Take that in a moment. Like, whoa, this is happening. This isn't a single story. This is happening across the entertainment industry, across businesses. Like, who would have thought a makeup artist needs more than a portfolio? Who would have thought an actor or actress needs more than your examples of what you can do?
Major.
It's huge. And I should probably talk about this more. I don't really talk about this aspect of it. But it's scary. Like, wow. Yeah, you have to have a social portfolio, meaning a platform that people are following you these days, if you want to land jobs. Yeah. Now, I will say, okay, you don't have to. However, what I will say is you will miss out on opportunities potentially, right?
Potentially, yes.
And so it's not like everybody is looking for that all the time out there. But I think I'm hearing it more and more as time goes on. So I think we're moving into this space where you as an actor, if you don't have a social, or if you do have a social platform and an audience, you will be more attractive to hire, because guess what? You can promote the movie, promote the TV show, promote the work. It's not just up to them. They're tapping in. They're hiring you because they tap into this huge audience that you've gained.
This is so huge. I went on I was a chaperone reluctantly for about 30 seventh graders last week. Lord help me. And it was myself and a couple other dads were just kind of lamenting off to the side. And one of the guys, he's big into sports, and he was telling me, man, one of the things he said, as I told him what I do, he's like, man, have you ever thought about helping athletes create their content to build following online? I was like, well, that's genius. And he said, yeah, because it's getting to the point now where we're seeing the difference between scholarships, offers from colleges and other sports and athletics programs. The difference maker is simply that one had a following, one had a presence online, and the other didn't. That guy told me that this week. And so you saying this right now is just like, whoa. We are definitely seeing this in multiple different ways. Man. I mean, platforms like Amazon won't even allow you on if you don't have a following. It's like,
right.
What's your following look like? So that is a really, really great answer to Adria's question. I hope she's still here, and I hope that you were able to get that answer. We don't have a whole lot more time left, but I do have another question here that I had starred from earlier. It's from Todd Cartner, and he says, we are a referral networking organization, and we interview our members each week to promote their business. We are getting a ton of great responses. Okay, this was not a question, but Todd, thank you so much, Todd, for
That's
that
awesome.
comment.
I'm glad you're getting a great response.
Yeah, Sammy's got a question, and we got Anthony with a question, and we're going to grab these two, and we're going to then kick it over to you, Luria, to kind of talk about some of the things that people can find you and follow you for that you have coming up next. Anthony says, love to hear Luria explain how to weave her personality with her content to make it uniquely you. So that I love to hear that as well. So I've followed you through one of the Vita, all the Idas, and I know you really push that uniquely you, and I would definitely want to hear you kind of explain some of that for the audience today, if you can.
Yeah, it's a big topic, but to put it simply, you have to understand who you are outside of the content. Who are you what are your personality traits? What are your pet peeves? What are the things in your life that mean a lot to you? What are your values? These are core things to who you are as a human being. And then all you've got to do is take that and place it into your content, which sounds much simpler than it is.
It is,
But
yeah.
yeah, it's like, okay, for example, the video that I mentioned coming out tomorrow, right? It actually has like my dog in it as well. We've got the toilet, we've got the dog, we've got all the
Come
things.
on. Yeah.
But like everybody knows my dog because she's part of my life, right?
Yes.
Abby the Chihuahua is a staple in my content. Also a staple in my content is the fact that I don't get pop culture references whatsoever. I have no clue what movies are, titles, like plot lines. I don't know who's married to who in Hollywood. I don't know pop culture references at all. They just go right over my head. And instead of hiding that, I weave it in such a way that's like, we make fun of me on my live shows, right? And by we, I mean like my audience is making fun of me. I'm participating because we have fun with that. It's a trait about me that is unique, right? And it is who I am if you were to hang out with me in person.
Yeah.
And it has literally nothing to do with my content. And yet it's a combo effort. I had to put this in another way is like, I was speaking in London and a woman came up to me afterwards and I was talking about this subject and she said, but I'm multiple different people. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a runner. I'm a mom. And she was struggling to see like how those pieces come together. And I said, like, what, like, why do you have to be one person in front of the camera?
Yeah.
Like what you are multifaceted. So that multifaceted person is part of your content. It just is there.
Yeah. Wow.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, and it's so good. Without going into the full 4-month course, that I think was a really great. No, because I just want to. That's the only thing I wanted to add there is that I just want people to understand who are watching, who are listening to this, and you may never have come across this whole idea of bringing your full self to your content. It is not a 10-minute description. It's not. It is gonna. It does take some time to really tap into a comfortability level that allows you to be fully present and fully you on camera. Yeah. So that is a space. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Callie left a really good comment, a way of saying that you're confusing niching down as being cornered, right?
Really good.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it.
That's a really good way to put it. I love that. I love that. Thank you, Callie, for getting us straight. One other thing here I just want to drop in. Sammy Superstar says, when did you figure out that you were building a business from content creation? When did it click? Like, this is actually a business. Go ahead.
So I'm a slow learner. Let's start with that. Not really, but in this way I am. I started it with the intention. Once I realized I had something, I kind of went full on like, I'm going to make this a business. And I always had the vision of building something that lasted beyond me. I didn't want to build something that if I wasn't on camera that it would fail. Or when I die, it goes away, right? I want something like, I'm not having kids. This is my legacy. Like, this is all in for me, right? So I knew that from the start. And yet, while I was making money, and it was my full-time gig, for 10 years, I didn't treat it in the way I needed to mentally to really turn it into a surviving business. And so it was a very volatile experience, right? And so at that 10-year mark, when I pivoted and I let go of Callie and I went to Luria, that's when I really started to shift and say, like, this is the way I need to really think about this as a business. Yeah. Not just making money. So it took me a lot longer than it will you to really get there. But yeah.
That's so true as well. And I think it's a great place for us to land, is that it kind of a full circle from where we started. You have the benefit of having a longevity and long history in the field and in the career space that we are in, but they're having, being first has its drawbacks, right? You have to kind of stub your toe and knock your head against a couple of different things, and then you get to be the tour guide for others and kind of say, hey, Dad, avoid that and watch your step here, because when I was coming through, this is what I experienced. And so you are absolutely correct. Others will not have to take 10 years, because people like you and several others that we all follow and look up to in this space have kind of let us know. We've seen a sort of a blueprint. We've seen that it is possible to make a business from this. And so, I mean, like my kids, they're already like, so how do we make the connection between making this video and then what the next video is going to be, and how does that bring in revenue and all those other things? Because, that's kind of the space that we've created now for content creators. I think that's so awesome. Great space that we're in.
Said.
So Luria, man, what's next? What's coming down the pike? We have just a few minutes left. We want people to know what they can do. I mean, in my audience, some of them are not as familiar with you as I am. I'm in your comments literally every week. So what's some of the things you guys coming up? You said something on Black Friday. You got some other stuff coming up in December. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I can't tell you what, but we have some amazing Black Friday deals for you. So pay attention to that. If you want to get on my email list, you can just go to the website and there's a button to get on there.
Which website? LiveStream Pros?
LiveStreamingPros.com. Yeah. I'm still learning the promotion thing. But ultimately I would love to see you in our live chat. Every Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific, we do Q&A, we hang out, we have the best community online other than yours.
Listen, I'm part of yours, so mine is a subset of yours. Okay, that's how I'm going to phrase that.
But yeah, I would love to see you on the live show.
LiveStreamPros.com. That link is going to be in the description, y'all. A lot of great stuff and resources on this page. So definitely something you want to be able to check out. I'm just throwing this website up here for everybody to see. This is the site. This is where you want to be. They've got new Stream Deck buttons out there as well, man. I just got downloaded a new subscribe button for myself because I bought that from you guys way back when. So you guys made that available for free. I thought that was so dope. Something I was like, man, I got to do stuff. I got to do some more stuff like this. I got to get my design. Come on, let's get some of these ideas going, man. But I cannot thank you enough, Luria, for coming through and hanging out with us today. It has been absolutely amazing. I know my audience has absolutely appreciated it. I know that I have absolutely appreciated it, and definitely looking forward to do more partnerships in the future as we get into 2023 and beyond. But from the entire HIW family, we want to say a word of thanks to you. Thank you so much.
Yes, and I want to mimic that. Thank you guys so much for being a great chatty community today, and thank you for spending your evening with me. I'm honored.
Absolutely. Well, fam, listen, this has been yet another installment in the How It All Works season. This kind of brings our guests series to a close. We won't have any more guests. I have a solo series for the month of December, and then and that's just going to be one or two, maybe three, but one or two videos. Next week, we're doing something for Cyber Monday, so not going to be the regular live show. We'll be doing something on Amazon, but we'd love for you guys to come and hang out with us anyway. But listen, I just hope that as you look to do something with content as a business, that this particular discussion, this episode, is a resource for you, both from the perspective of the longevity aspect. Listen, hearing other people's stories sometimes can be the cheat code. Just listening to, they just stuck with it. I mean, they just stuck with it. They kept on grinding. They kept on moving forward, and they weren't, they weren't haughty or proud, so proud that they didn't seek assistance, seek help, seek guidance. And I hope that you learned those lessons from today's discussion, but also just the sheer, depth of knowledge and wisdom that was shared today. you can literally take some of these principles, practices, and go out and kill the game, fam. I hope that you were able to, have that light bulb aha moment, to peek behind the veil a little bit, to see those puzzle pieces fit together. Essentially what we're saying is we're hoping you were able to figure out how it all works. And we'll see you, family, in the next video. Later. For my replay squad, you know what to do. Videos are over here. I'm always pointing the wrong way. The videos are right here. Thank you so much for watching, y'all. Take care, fam.